I think the first one we have to talk about, there's a pitcher that might be available.
Ooh.
And I think that's one that we didn't know was available, Kevin.
It is true.
And it's a San Diego Padre. And no, it's not Dylan Cease.
Yeah, everybody knew about that one.
How about that? Right? Yeah, everyone did. Everyone did.
This is
but
a
did
surprise.
they?
Well, I guess now we have we can put a better finger on it in terms of whether the Padres are looking to deal their guys or not.
It's true. Well, the Padres, who they did acquire Michael King not too long ago in the Juan Soto trade, now it looks like, according to Ken Rosenthal, they are looking to shop Michael King. Coming off a great year for the Padres, he settled with arbitration, and now he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. So it's a one-year rental after this year. So, guys, poses the question. People were wondering, an arm that could be available, because it looks like the Mariners conversations, I think that those have all simmered down. Not that it couldn't happen, but it looks like Michael King might now become the hot name that is going to be moved. Question is it going to be in Baltimore or could it be somewhere else?
I'm going to do my best Brian Windhurst impression. And
come on, Wendy.
So Michael King gets announced that he is now potentially available. He is available to be shopped. The Orioles' biggest trade asset, I would say, is a corner outfielder. On the same day that it becomes known that the Padres are willing to shop Michael King, the Orioles sign a corner outfielder. Now, why would they do that? Why would the Orioles go get another corner outfielder, like you said, Rip? Is this depth, or is this preparing for something? I guess we'll find out.
You are doing the Brian Windhorst.
Yeah.
Like,
now, why would they do that?
Now you just got to lean back a little bit. There it is.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you gotta just...
It makes you wonder, though. But again, you're in the same dilemma of it's a rental. What are you going to give up for a rental? And if you trade for Michael King, whatever team trades for him, you're hoping he's your guy for years to come, right? And he's in that age right now where he can cash in and make a big contract. But also you're hoping he can be a stable force for you moving forward. He's going to cost quite a bit. I think the price point for him compared to Cease is less. But nonetheless, the Padres aren't just going to move him for nothing. Now, the Padres, if we're going to go back to the tale of time here at the last trade deadline, they traded every prospect away, it felt like. Hey, you get a prospect. You get a prospect. The Marlins got a lot of prospects, even from the Orioles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm just trying to put that together. So where does that go? The Orioles do have a lot of outfield prospects. If they want that, that makes sense. I wouldn't say that the Orioles have a lot of pitching prospects to give up, nor would I give them up.
Yeah.
No.
So does it make – I don't know if this deal is going to make sense for the Orioles to get Michael King, but it sure is a fun conversation, Brad.
I think it does. I think – hear me out.
Hear you out.
A Heston Kjerstad for Michael King and another prospect lowered on the lower end of the totem pole would make sense to me. I mean, Heston Kjerstad's obviously a major bat, but is he getting playing time here if the Orioles don't make any sort of move in the season? I don't think so.
Probably
And then so then his value then goes down if he can't perform on a part-time basis. So like I think that this would make sense if it were me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a rental. Maybe you can work out a deal. My thing is the Orioles have blundered the last several trade deadlines, notably the last two seasons. I would hate for them to kind of blunder this as well going into the 2025 season.
To be fair, the Orioles did make the gamble last year and trade for Corbin Burns.
It worked out.
And he looked great. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now the rest of the team, a lot of injuries. And then we know what happened in the postseason. It wasn't even the pitching in that case. They just weren't able to scratch across runs, and that was it.
Yep.
Bam, over. Michael King just went from being a relief pitcher to a starter, right? Like that was the big change. He only started 9 games in 2023 with the Yankees. And in his first full season, being a starter, 30 starts last year at a 2.95 ERA. If he keeps that up, his price could actually be higher than Cease. But because you have to see, can he do it again?
Yeah.
Can he be consistent with that? There's no doubt in my mind his stuff's electric, and he's a power guy. Over 200 strikeouts, 173 innings. And then the thing that I really do love with him is that hits, 144 hits. So 173 innings, 144 hits, under a hit an inning, all good things to keep in mind. And probably the thing that's even better, 63 walks and 173 innings. So it's not that he's given a ton of free passes. So it's going to cost something.
Yes.
It's just which team is going to be willing to do it. If the Orioles, again, and I urge this, if you trade for Michael King, he has to be a Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Yeah.
If not, you're going to be in the same situation where if the Orioles do not make a run in the postseason, we're going to be back to the same conversation of look what we gave up and look what happened. Look what's happening over there with Milwaukee and Joey Ortiz, and they got a pick. But I want to make this clear. The Orioles have done this. So for those who say they haven't, they have. But is that fair to say, Kevin, is that we're sitting here, this is what would happen. Michael King will make a team better. Michael King,
100%.
I would even say right now, if we're looking at all the options,
He's the best.
I think he's the top one that
I
would want to go get.
Before you go, Kevin, I will just say this. The AL East has gotten a lot better this offseason.
I agree.
You can make arguments that the Orioles have gotten marginally at best better. Their roster, I'm saying, this season. And Johnny Hewitt says, what about Eflin? I mean, I guess you weren't paying attention to the rest of the deals that got done over the season, but we'll talk about that another time. But Kevin, go ahead.
No, and I think to me, the interesting conversation is, yes, like the Orioles, if there's an opportunity to add a player like Michael King, you absolutely have to go and make that deal. Now, again, it's going to depend what you give up. And I agree with you, Brad, where I would probably move on from Heston if it meant and go get a Michael
The Yankees
King.
are damn good on paper this year.
I mean, look, you get
So
Fried
Red
over
Sox.
there, Buehler.
So the Red Sox,
and,
yes.
I would argue, I think that the Red Sox are a more dangerous team than the
Red
Yankees.
Sox are going to be good.
I think
it just
their
plays-
upside.
plays into my argument that something has to happen.
because you've lost Corbin Burns, you've lost Anthony Santander, you've replaced those players with Tyler O'Neill and Sagano and Charlie Morton. And, to me, that is actually a worse roster on paper. Now, again, we've talked about this. It all depends on the young core. If Jackson can take a step, if Hadley can do this, if Grayson can stay healthy and be an ace, right? Those are the conversations where the Orioles can be better if the young core takes those steps that we need.
But there's been no replacement for Corbin Burns that makes you feel better. You're not going to find probably another Corbin Burns. I'm just saying there hasn't been a replacement that makes you feel better about losing Corbin Burns.
Yeah, and it goes back to
real fast. Just for anyone wondering, Michael King is not a Scott Boras client. I had to go research.
That's the biggest.
He's not a Boras client. So maybe if you trade for him, you can get something done before the season to take off the pressure of it being a rental.
And the one thing I saw at Austin, and I'm here, and this is what I'm saying, based off of 1 year, hard to call him an ace. The staff needs, makes you better, but not that guy for sure.
I agree.
That's the unknown with it. Only 1 year of being a full-time starter in the bigs. But if you're basing off of what you saw and you believe that is you can replicate that. And he's at a age where he's got a lot of years left of his career. He's a guy that definitely can fit the mold of being a top tier type guy on your staff. And don't forget, Grayson Rodriguez, to me, Grayson will be an ace so long as he stays healthy.
Yes.
But that is the biggest problem for Grayson, is staying healthy enough for him to keep learning through the ebbs and flows of being in the big leagues. Because when he pitches, he had stretches last year where you're going, damn, this is it. He's the guy. Him and Corbin, phenomenal. Bradish, those top three, that trio there is best in baseball if you want to go against them when they're healthy. In this case, though, if Grayson can be there, Zach Eflin, I believe in him. I think that you add in a Michael King, of course, but is that going to be too much right now? I don't know. And the one thing is, at the end of the day, starting pitching can be underwhelming when you look at it. But these guys are fully capable of going out there and having success.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're not talking about, the young core is the big part here. Playing the game the way you need to play it. Situational execution is what's going to decide games for Baltimore. Yeah. The reason why they took a big step back in 24, not even saying a big step back, they made the playoffs. Yeah, they didn't win 100+ games. It's hard to do that. By the way, 0 teams won 100 games last year in the bigs. The Orioles were unbelievably successful in one-run games in 2023. That wasn't sustainable. We'll just take that out. But situational execution, moving runners over, getting them in,
clean defense.
Clean defense. The team that executes, we just mentioned about football and turnovers, the team that makes the plays and executes more cleanly usually wins. And the one that has the 2-out hit or makes that extra play usually is the one that wins the game. Baltimore did that better in 2023 than they did in 2024. They can flip that a little bit. This Orioles team with this young team that they already have, the young nucleus, they're going to be pretty damn good. But it would be nice with Michael King